Hello, we are getting to the end of this first application, autonomous application that we are developing. And in this video, I'm gonna implement all the missing pieces on our React executor, which will be observer and the choosing action and the execution action. So let's start with the observation. So we are gonna remove that. Observation is the best one to start. No, let's start with the action, choosing action. So let's get rid of this part here and this. And let's start to get the tool. Right? We get the tools and then we will, I'm actually adding all the prompts that we are going to need because this, I'm not going to type all that. So first prompt that we're going to need, it is from the choosing action one. And the other one, it would be for the, I need here, for the observation. And they're going to need also another one for the execution action, which will need the find the parameters. Execution action. Okay, so let's go through the prompts very quickly. So starting with the observation, we have a prompt here that is kind of saying that let's read it through. Is the context information enough to find an answer to this request? So here, basically, as part of the observation, we are asking if our model has everything required to answer the request that we started with. So one thing that I say as well, assign a quality confidence score between 0 and 1 to guide your approach. So from 0 to 8, continue current approach. And between 5 and 7, consider minor adjustment. And below 5, serious consider backtracking. This is very interesting one because our agent will kind of backtrack and look at the performance of the iterations and see if in the right path. So this score here that we are getting would kind of help the model to see if you start the approach, the path that is going, the plan that we started, or if you can just continue. So we're gonna. This is a very interesting thing to have in your models. And so we have the context here. We're adding all the information that have been stored already that we are calling as a remember, and passing as the history, the context basically. And the other one, it is to choose action. So here we have to answer the following request as best you can. So then you give the request here. Choose the tools to use if need be. The tool should be among. So you're basically saying you need to answer this question, and are the tools available for you. And here the history that has happened to this execution. And the other one, it is the execution action. And here you are trying basically to get all the parameters for our tool. So basically that the request, then you have already the tool that you're going to be using. And then we pass also the signature of the function. And then in the context, we pass the history. And basically you're going to ask to fulfill the parameter for this request. So basically that's all the prompts that you're going to be using. Pretty straightforward. And now let's try to plug everything together. Let's start with the observation because I believe it's the simpler one. So if you go to the observation, after you have this prompt, what we need to do is basically tell our brain to think about this prompt and for the current agent, and how to put the format in ReAct end, right? So basically here we are expecting this format, and because we have this, we don't need that anymore. So we can print the observation. Let's try to this observation. I think nicer if you just say that's the observation, and then the observation itself. And the response, it's better just print observation. I think uh, so. Now here we have the final answer and the answer, and it would be also nice to have the confidence score. It actually is the pro pro confidence score, and then you have here the confidence. That basically that's we're gonna have our confidence score. Okay. Yeah, confidence score, and we're gonna be using the final answer. But here we just have this confidence score. We don't need to return the observation. You need to return the response. We also need to store what was returned. So we need to remember before, right? We remember that the assistant final answer, and I think it would be interesting to have the confidence score as well. And it's confidence score. Yeah, that's basically it we need here. Yes, I think that's all for the observation side. And let's then iterate now with the choose action. And for this one, we will have to do some extra work. We are gonna the same respawn, spawn to chain, and we're gonna pass our prompt, the agent, and the tool choice. And then we are gonna basically set a message, and this message will basically contain assist I should use this tool, just get the information about the respawn on tool name, and let's also add let's add reason as well, space, and this we're gonna bring member. So basically here we are kind of say we ask for the parameters, and you ask for the tool, which tools we are using. They give you the tool. We kind of pass it to the brain to remember that was the answer in a more let's say formatted way. And once you have that, we actually response here. Then I think that's basically it. Because you kind of got the response, and we go through and try to find that response. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Now in the execution action thing, I think it would be interesting to first to print what the execution will be. And let's start with this. execute, and execute, executing, 15, tool, tool name, so inform that you're executing this, then context history is this, and we have parameter in here, and based on the parameters, sometimes some function will not have the parameter, for example, date of today. So let's check if the parameter is bigger than 0. If it's bigger than 0, then you have to add the format that you are expecting that we had before. I have it here. Let me just set it again. So we have a look at this. And then we will say that this is the expected. So this, we are looping over all the parameters in case if there is a parameter if it is expected a parameter for this tool that we are trying to execute, then we go and give that to our brain to think about what values should be set to those parameters. So in this case, then we're gonna call brain think agent response. We don't have like expected output, so this is correct. So remember, the brain is gonna remember this. Okay, hopefully the whole thing here. So we have the brain response, then we got the response. So we pass that to be remember that the assistant gave this response for us, and then we got the response, and we try to use this response and parse as a. We already had this as well, so let's just try this response. So trying to parse it from JSON, and then if it doesn't go well, we print some information and we say that didn't work well, and that's basically what you had before. And so it's basically it. So since we have the response already available, we are gonna try to execute it. And I think we had this is basically what we had down. And instead of coming with this set, you're gonna actually get from the response here brain thinking, and we're gonna remove this, and this is gonna call response, and the response, which means the response should be set here. So there's the response, and we can call parameter, and without executing. Another important thing I think we need to brain assist user before asking this. I think it would be good to kind of think to remember assist response function action. Yeah, let's try to remember add some so brain remember what it is actually the response. We can just variable. Yeah, message. And so yeah, I think basically that. So we have here the execution. If there is no, not return, then execute, then you can ask to get the parameters populated. Got it here, then require. In case the parameter is bigger than 0, we try to retrieve it. If it's not, we just use the empty one. Yeah. Let's see how things goes. Let's try to run it. So the main agent, then the thought, switch to the agent, people search, executing the Wikipedia search, correct? The result, the observation, the approach, it's okay, 9, very confident in the approach. People search, continue, and it thinks there is a thought again, so there is no tool found in the main. So then it switch to the main agent. So use the agent, people search agent, and the people search agent just search the person information, return, then goes back to the main agent, and then we go through the process again. Thought, executing the date of today, observation, and the main interaction reach it. I think we need more interactions to fulfill our task. So I will go to the main, and 5 is not enough apparently. So let's go with 10. Let's try to follow the thought here. So the thought is asking to do a few things. So, and then we switch to people search. Then people search, it's using now. Then we search the information for Linux, and we got the answer about the Linux, and you have the age of the Linux. No, not the age, but the birthday. Then we tried again with the people search, but the people search doesn't have any more tool to be used. So go back to the main agent, and it's saying the process of the thought, it's saying that you're gonna use the date of today. It's correct, the day of today. Then the observation is still very, very high. Go back to the main agent, and then the thought here, it is to calculate the calculator. It's using the calculator, and the observation of it actually worked very good, because it's saying here that it's 112 years, because it's the double of the Linux storage age. And the interesting one here, that it's the calculator was executed as well to calculate the double age, even though it had it here already. So now let's tap to double using calculator. Actually did it here, but as we have instruction to kind of say that use the tools, it's actually using the calculator. Sometimes it skips this calculator because the GPT actually have the information already, so they don't use the calculator. So it's good that this time it's actually showed it here, and it's actually working pretty well. And I think one information that would be good to have, it is the parameters, to be printing the parameters here. Let's try to have the parameter printed so we can see more information. Action result, and let's say print action parameter, tool parameter, patterns. Response to result and response, executing calculator, this bothered space here bothered me a little bit. And what else I think could be interested? Maybe we turn off the thought. It's too much information here. Let's just run it again to see how this information will be showing the parameter as well, which will be interesting to see. The main agent, that is the top of the process here. Then we have the current agent, this. Then we come with the top. Then executed the search. Very good. Total tool parameters. So you can see that you need to pass Linux towards as a parameter to that function. For the parameter search query, it's exactly what you have in our tools, right? Search query here, and that's the result. Let's go to the observation. There is no information for the observation. People serve. Again, that is the thought. Then no tools available anymore. So go to the main agent. Then the thought response, talk about the date. Amazing. Executing the date. There is no parameter to get the date of today. It's here. So the main agent still there, the main agent, and give some more thoughts, and execute the calculator. And the calculator, the parameters is operation, multiply, and A 54, and B 52, 2, and the result 18. And the observation talk about the confidence, and it's actually saying that the double of Linus age is 108. It's strange why it's calculating different. It is part of the unpredictability of the LLMs. But our system, it works pretty well. It's actually calling all the tools that we have, and it's executing it properly. So this basically closes our journey in building a autonomous application, a simple one. In the next session, we are going to actually explore how to do something similar to this, but using OpenAI tools. Like we're going to use actually the functions that OpenAI provides, which will help us to improve this approach. So we will have less prompts, and consequently less token will be required to execute. So the next session, it's actually what it is in place on real production autonomous AI. This is also used, but this is very generic, not focused on a kind of LLM. So this is generic and can be used with any LLM. So here we are using OpenAI, but you can also use Anthropic, for example, or Google, because this follows the same pattern. And it's next session, we're going to focus on OpenAI. And from there, you're going to learn how to execute functions that the API really provides. And you can adapt that to any other LLM provider that you work with. Okay. So thanks very much for staying with me. See you in the next session.